What if I told you that the most important number for the future of the Iraqi dinar isn't the one flashing on the screens of the parallel market, with all its wild and dramatic swings, but is instead a seemingly boring, static, and almost forgotten figure published by the Central Bank of Iraq? The official exchange rate, holding firm at 1,310 IQD to $1, is not just a number. It is the bedrock of the entire Iraqi financial system, the anchor in a stormy sea of speculation, and the key that unlocks the true meaning behind every rumor of revaluation you hear. For months, maybe even years, you've been bombarded with headlines, YouTube videos, and forum posts screaming about imminent, massive increases in the dinar's value, promising life-changing wealth overnight. Yet here we are with the official rate unchanged. This disconnect between the explosive speculation and the calm, unchanging official reality is the single most critical concept you must grasp. That official rate of 1,310 is the Central Bank of Iraq's loud and clear message to the world, a statement of their current monetary policy and their commitment to a managed stability, at least for the time being. It is the foundation upon which the national budget is built, the rate at which the government funds its operations and pays its employees, and the benchmark for all legitimate international trade. So, while the parallel market might offer a more attractive rate, reflecting the immediate pressures of dollar liquidity and local demand, its fluctuations are, in the grand scheme of the state's long-term strategy, considered noise. The central bank is essentially telling us that its primary focus is on macroeconomic stability, controlling inflation, and ensuring the government can function, not on appeasing the speculative dreams of international currency holders. This is a hard truth for many to hear, but it is the fundamental truth of the situation as it stands today. Think of it this way. A country does not casually decide to multiply the value of its currency by thousands of percentage points overnight. Such an event, a revaluation of the magnitude many are hoping for, would be a cataclysmic event for the domestic economy, making Iraqi exports prohibitively expensive and potentially crippling local industries that rely on a competitive exchange rate. The official rate's steadfastness is a deliberate choice, a reflection of the immense complexities on the ground in Iraq, political negotiations, economic reforms, and the ongoing challenge of weaning the economy off its dependence on dollar revenues from oil. Every single day that this rate holds at 1,310, it is a deliberate decision made by policymakers who are weighing 1,000 different factors that most of us never see. So, the next time you see a headline screaming about a rate change, your first question should always be, is this the official rate or the parallel market rate? Because until that official CBI website changes, the real game hasn't shifted. This understanding is your shield against misinformation and your compass in a landscape filled with conflicting signals. It allows you to separate the hopeful fantasy from the tangible, reportable reality. And this reality is what we will continue to build upon as we delve deeper into what this all means for the future. But before we move forward, I need you to do something crucial for your own understanding. Go to the Central Bank of Iraq's official website right now, look for their published exchange rate, and see that 1,310 figure for yourself. Do not take my word for it. Do not take any YouTuber's word for it. Go to the primary source. This single act will ground you in fact and empower you to critically assess every piece of information you encounter from this point onward. So, pause this video, go verify that official rate, and when you come back, we will break down exactly what forces are at play behind the scenes that keep this number so stubbornly in place. So, you've seen the official rate, solid as a rock at 1,310, and you're now asking the billion-dollar question. If that's the official story, then why is there so much noise and hope about a revaluation? The answer lies in the powerful, often chaotic forces creating that gap between the official window and the parallel market, and understanding this tension is the key to reading the tea leaves correctly. The wider the gap between the official rate and the street rate becomes, the more pressure it creates on the entire financial system, and this pressure is what fuels the speculation. Think of Iraq's economy like a pressure cooker. The official rate is the weight on top, designed to keep things stable and controlled. But inside the cooker, you have a boiling mix of factors, restrictions on access to US dollars for importers, the complexities of international sanctions compliance, the sheer demand for physical cash dollars from a population that often distrusts its own banking system, and the fundamental reality of an economy still heavily reliant on importing goods from abroad. All of these elements generate immense heat and steam, and that pressure has to go somewhere. It vents itself through the parallel market, which is why you see those higher, more volatile numbers there. This isn't a unique phenomenon. It happens in many countries with managed currencies. But for Iraq, it's a critical national security issue. The government and the central bank know that a perpetually weak and unstable dinar on the street erodes public confidence, fuels inflation for everyday goods, and creates a thriving black market for dollars that undermines their authority. So, their entire strategy, the one we are witnessing unfold in real time, is not about a sudden, magical revaluation, but about systematically reducing that pressure inside the cooker. By implementing painful but necessary reforms. You've likely heard about the shift from the electronic platform to the new international system for sending wires, a move designed to increase transparency and reassure the international banking community that dollar transactions from Iraq are legitimate and not circumventing sanctions. You've heard about the push for de-dollarization, encouraging domestic transactions and salaries to be paid in dinar to bolster its use and perceived value internally. And you've certainly heard about the ongoing negotiations with the United States Treasury, where every single detail of Iraq's financial governance is being discussed and scrutinized. Each of these steps, however slow and frustrating they may seem, is a deliberate turn of a valve designed to release that systemic pressure. The ultimate goal is to bring the parallel market rate and the official rate closer together, not by a speculative explosion of the dinar's value, but by strengthening the dinar's fundamentals and stabilizing the economy from within. This is the real RV, or reinstatement of value, that economists talk about, a gradual, sustainable strengthening based on tangible economic progress, not a flick of a switch. It's a marathon, not a sprint. This is why news about banking reforms, international agreements, and anti-corruption measures within the financial sector are infinitely more important for the long-term value of your investment than any rumor about a specific rate or date. They are addressing the root cause of the weakness, not just the symptom. So, the next time you see a headline, I want you to apply this filter. Does this piece of news contribute to reducing the pressure in the cooker? Does it help build trust in the Iraqi banking system? Does it increase transparency? If the answer is yes, then you are looking at a development that genuinely matters for the dinar's future. If it's just another prediction of a specific, sky-high rate, you know it's just noise. Now, to truly internalize this, I want you to go into the comments section below and tell me, in your own words, what you believe is the single biggest factor creating that pressure in the parallel market. Is it the demand for imports, the distrust in banks, or something else entirely? Sharing your perspective creates a powerful dialogue and helps everyone learn. Let's get that discussion started. Now that we've built this foundational understanding of the official rate's role as the anchor and the parallel market as the pressure valve, we can finally look forward with clarity, cutting through the hype to assess what you should genuinely be watching in the coming days, weeks, and months. The path forward for the Iraqi dinar is not a countdown to a single, dramatic event, but a careful monitoring of a sequence of economic milestones. The end goal of this journey isn't a secret rate, it's a stable, unified, and internationally recognized exchange rate that reflects a truly sovereign and resilient Iraqi economy. So, what does that journey look like, and what are the real-world signposts that indicate progress? First and foremost, keep your eyes locked on the gap between the official and parallel rates. The most immediate and positive signal will be a sustained, gradual narrowing of that gap. If you see the central bank's measures, like the new wire transfer systems and de-dollarization efforts, beginning to take effect, the first place it will show is in the parallel market rate strengthening on its own, moving closer to 1,310 without the official rate needing to budge. This is the most organic and healthy form of appreciation, and it's a sign that the underlying economic pressures are genuinely easing. The second critical signpost is the successful and full implementation of the international banking standards we discussed. When news stops being about Iraq adopting these platforms and starts being about how smoothly and efficiently they are operating, with reduced delays and increased volumes of legitimate trade financing flowing through the system, that is a monumental achievement. It means Iraq is being reintegrated into the global financial community, which is a prerequisite for any long-term strength in its currency. Third, and perhaps most importantly, watch for tangible, reported progress in the strategic relationship between the Central Bank of Iraq and the US Federal Reserve. The day you read a joint statement announcing the successful completion of a key phase of reforms or the easing of certain restrictions on dollar transactions, that will be more significant than 1,000 speculative videos. This represents a vote of confidence from the most powerful financial institution in the world. Finally, watch for domestic stability. A federal budget passed on time and executed without crisis, a sustained period without major political gridlock, and concrete reports of infrastructure projects being completed. These are the boring, unsexy headlines that actually build a strong economy and, by extension, a strong currency. This is the real roadmap. It requires patience, discernment, and a steadfast focus on economic data and official statements over rumor and speculation. The dream of a revaluation is not necessarily wrong, it's just misunderstood. The true revaluation will be the culmination of this entire process, a formal acknowledgement by the central bank that the dinar's fundamentals have strengthened to a point where a new, higher official peg is justified and sustainable. It will be the final step in the journey, not the first. This is why your strategy must evolve from waiting for a date to understanding the process. Your most powerful asset is not the dinar you hold, but the knowledge you possess. And with that knowledge, you become an investor, not just a speculator. You are now equipped to navigate this complex landscape with a critical eye and a grounded perspective. You have the tools to separate signal from noise. So, here is your final and most important call to action. I want you to become an active participant in your own financial education. Do not be a passive consumer of information. Right after this video ends, I challenge you to open a new tab and find just one, official source of information on the Iraqi economy. It could be the Central Bank of Iraq's website, the International Monetary Fund's latest report on Iraq, or a reputable financial news outlet like Reuters or Bloomberg. Read one article. Don't look for confirmation of a rate change. Just look for understanding. Look for one piece of information about their budget, their banking reforms, or their economic growth projections. This single act will change everything for you. It will connect you directly to the reality of the situation and empower you like never before. The journey to understanding the dinar is a journey of becoming a more informed, more critical, and more patient individual. Thank you for investing your time in that journey today. Now, go and take that next step.